Oh my underoos. Yep, I've seen it. Captain America Civil War. I'm just back from seeing it. I just decided, you know what, let's just set everything up with my makeshift tripod sort of stand setup. I don't know what's going on here. I haven't made any preparation for this review. I just thought, let's get the camera out, start recording, whatever happens, happens. I have to talk about how good this film is. I seem to be saying this like every superhero film, minus, Fantastic Four, but I've been saying this over and over again. I say, hey, best superhero film we've had, and then the next one comes out and it tops that. And I have to say, this is the best superhero film I've seen. It's got the action, it's got the comedy, it's got the conflict between all these different characters, and it's done in such an epic way, because they could have done it, went by the comics and did it, the whole identity thing and everyone revealing their identity, but they went with a different route because it made more sense. As a comic book fan, as a person who read these comics, who read Civil War, I was so satisfied on how they actually played out the storyline. It reached another level. It reached something on an astronomical level for me as a moviegoer. I teared up. I teared up watching Captain America Civil War because there were multiple callbacks to the comic books. There were amazing things that I never thought we would see. I never thought that we'd see Ant-Man doing what he does in this film. I never thought we'd ever see that. I thought it would be on a splash page in a comic and we would never see it elsewhere. I didn't think we were going to see Black Panther fighting the Winter Soldier. I didn't think we were going to see Spider-Man in the same film as Iron Man, Captain America, Black Panther, all of these great, it's crazy to me. It is absolutely crazy to me, and I was not skeptical. That's the thing. I could have been skeptical because of how many characters you were cramming into this film, but the thing is, they didn't cram it. They worked beautifully with making every single character involved in their own certain way. They made it clear that it's still a Captain America film, and that was something I was curious about before. When they announced this film, I didn't know how they were going to make this still a Captain America film when you've got Iron Man and all the people I've already mentioned. I mean, Vision and everything. There's so much story you could build, but they stuck to it being Captain America, Bucky, and Iron Man. Them three characters, their main conflicts, and then every other character surrounding it, building the story and making it more dramatic. I mean, there are dramatic moments in this film. I mean, there's a specific moment in the film which is really, you're like, no, don't let this happen. You've been following these characters over years, you've been following over many films now, that you're invested in what's actually happening on screen, you're invested what is going to happen. You can clearly see how much the filmmakers put into this with Joe and Anthony Russo. Really, they're fans of the character. They have to fit in so many characters into this one film, and they managed to get all of it in and not feel cramped. You can't understand how big of a feat that is, in my opinion. They managed to keep focus, unlike, maybe a certain superhero film that came out like a month ago. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Batman v Superman. It's right here probably. I probably put a graphic right there. But the thing with that film was they were ambitious. They were ambitious, and it's okay to be ambitious, but they didn't control the ambition for the creative process of the film. And whenever you've got the films like the Marvel films, you have the creativeness of the Marvel Universe with Kevin Feige, the directors, the writers. You've got this whole creative group, and they managed to mold brilliant films. Let's talk about the action. I feel like they upscaled. They did new things. I mean, I was watching a interview with Joe and Anthony Russo, and they were talking about how they had to upscale the action with Captain America because he's quite limited. You can see he's got the shield, and you have to use different leg movements and things like that to change the choreography to make it more interesting. You don't want to keep using the same things. And they managed to do that so well. But let's talk about that airport sequence. I actually would argue it may be one of the best action sequences in any film. It's mind-blowing how they strategically got all these different pieces set together. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, it's this group versus this group. It's Team Cap versus Team Iron Man. And you have these two teams going against each other, and it's incredible the way they have Hawkeye and Black Widow fighting, and they have their little funny moment, and then you have Iron Man and Ant-Man and all the mans, the Spider-Man, and they have all these different people involved fighting. This scene could have come across as just mindless action just to get fanboys nerdgasming, but this was And yeah, it did that, but it also had story to it. It had meaning. There was a reason why they were fighting. It wasn't just, hey, let's just have these superheroes fighting this superheroes. They had reason for fighting. And that reason, I don't really know if I can say anything about it, because I've seen some of the trailers. I don't know how much they divulged, but I kind of stayed away from it. Let's just say they have a reason. They have a reason why they're doing it, and that kept it from becoming detached, basically. And as I was saying about the structure of the fight scene, it was amazing. It was like a splash page from a comic, the way everything was happening at once. It sort of reminded me of the Age of Ultron scene at the very start, where they're all fighting, and you would see Cap and he's on his motorbike going up there, and then you see Thor and he's going over there. It's sort of like that, but I feel like they did it even better in this. I don't know, but I feel like they did it even better. I mean, you have all these different close-up shots of Scarlet Witch, and then you see Ant-Man, and then you see Hawkeye doing this thing with the arrow. It was so cool. While there's action, they also have comedy. The writers, they did a good job, and it was the same with the directors did a brilliant job also, and also the actors. Speaking of the actors, let's talk about some of the characters. I mean, I'm not going to go through them all, but let's just say every single character did a very good job. Captain America, even though you feel like you know enough about the character, I feel like they went even further and they kept you with the loyalty that this character has to Bucky, and I thought it was brilliant, that friendship. I mean, even with Tony Stark, and you know that's strong. You can feel that friendship between them when they're fighting. It adds the connection that you feel to these characters. Even you don't want them to be fighting, you want this to end, you want them to get together, be friends, go and have some shawarma. You want things to go back to the way they were, but as they are, you're just hoping that they both get back to where they were. Friends. Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. did a brilliant job at just telling you that these two characters, they're friends, but they both have different looks on the situation, which sort of adds the conflict that you feel, how you may take on the situation that they're going with. I mean, do you agree that they should be checked? Or do you believe that they should be able to just do this? And I was Team Cap, but there were times in this film where I was going from Team Cap to Team Iron Man, because that was the writing. If you're not going from Team Cap to Iron Man to Team Cap, then I feel like they were doing it wrong. Black Panther and Spider-Man. The newcomers to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they have their own films coming out, so they needed to show us a lot. They needed to show us that they could stand as these characters, but also be able to stand with the Avengers. And they proved it. They absolutely proved it. Chadwick Boseman did a brilliant job as T'Challa with the reasons why he's actually fighting. I mean, obviously, if you've seen the backstory, you know about how his family have been going down generations and generations as the Black Panther, and whenever you realise how he gets himself involved in the fight, you feel more of a personal connection to his reasoning. He's not just there to fight, he actually has motives behind why he wants to get himself involved. But his character was so badass! It was so badass! The scene, you've seen it in the trailer, where he's running after Bucky, it shows he does pose as a threat. He doesn't feel like a B-level character, he wants to take out Bucky, and it's made clear, and you're along for the ride. He does such a brilliant job with the action. He's now made Black Panther one of my favourite characters in their cinematic universe. I'm very excited for the future of that character. And then Tom Holland is Spider-Man. If you thought Black Panther had a lot to go for in this film, Tom Holland had to show up in this film, because we've had two incarnations of Spider-Man before, and to me, they were very good. But this is the truest incarnation of the character that we've had yet. What I've wanted since I started reading comics. And Tom Holland showed up and he gave us the performance that I wanted, that I was like, can he do it? He did it. My minor issues that I had with the character's design whenever it was first revealed, all those were thrown out the window. From the acting, he was brilliantly playing a 15-year-old kid. He had some remarks on Empire Strikes Back, which that part, amazing. I love that little throwback to Empire Strikes Back. I love that. That was a brilliant piece to source from. I love that they did that. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I mean, you've seen it in the trailer. Peter Parker and Tony Stark have they have moments in the film, and they're really funny. And his action, just amazing. One of the problems I've had with the Spider-Man films is they never really showed how powerful Spider-Man really is. I mean, you have him crawling up walls and things, and it's very cool and fun. I mean, the part where you have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man film, where he's like running around the thief. I mean, that's cool, but whenever you have Spider-Man fighting a superhero, multiple superheroes, it's a sight to see. It is a sight to see this character being able to face and actually stand a pretty good chance of beating other superheroes, but also having the quips. I mean, the whole way through his different fights, he's talking, he's just throwing out quips, and they even remark on that, and I thought it was very funny on how much personality Tom Holland seems to be putting into this role. And I'm very happy that they went and got someone that actually is pretty young. He's not like whenever they cast Andrew Garfield and put him as a teen, he's like 30. It feels genuine. It feels like they're actually going with a 15-year-old as Peter Parker. It just makes me so happy. And yeah, I think I'm done here. I think they hit it right on the mark. It had brilliant acting, it had unbelievable action, it had so many moments of comedy gold, it had a compelling and immersive score, the visual effects, all of them were great. There was no like misfires, they all worked. So now I'm gonna give this film my rating out of 5. I absolutely loved it. You heard everything that I loved about this film. I think this is gonna be an extremely long movie review, if I'm being honest. It seems like it's gonna be, but I have a lot to say on this. Start to the end, even the post-credit scenes were great. It makes me extremely excited that the Russo brothers are going to be involved in directing Infinity War Part 1 and 2. I think they're going to do a masterful job. I think they probably could up their game from this. I mean, you have so much story that you still need to develop with some characters, and there's so much possibility that I'm almost positive that they're going to do a good job. So all that being said, I'm going to give Captain America Civil War a 5 out of 5. I'm so excited to see what Marvel have in store for us in the future. So I hope you enjoyed this review. If I missed anything that you're curious about, just leave it in the comments. I will answer it. Whose side are you on? Team Cap or Team Iron Man? Tell me in the comment section below. And if you've seen Captain America Civil War, please tell me what you thought of the film in the comment section below. Hit the like button, it tells me you enjoyed the review, and subscribe because it makes me feel good and makes me want to do more videos. So hopefully you enjoyed the review, and I'll see you later, movie fans.